Hey, welcome back guys to chapter 14 of my Final Fantasy Remake Platinum walkthrough. So it's a lot of side quests to do here, but I don't do any of them just because they only give you manuscripts, and basically we've got all the good things that you need. So you start here in Aerith's house, and then you need to head back to Don Corneo's mansion. So you can just head down to the bottom of the slums and talk to the Chocobo guy, and then you can warp there. Head into Don Corneo's mansion, head to the objective marker, and then you head back into the sewer. You remember the sewer? There'll be a bit more to do there now. So in the sewer you're going to come across some tough enemies again at Sahagins. So really you just want to have fire with Cloud, fire linked to magnify, fire linked to MP absorb, and fire linked to HP absorb. There's a good spot at the end to get your MP back, so don't worry too much about using MP. Just when you come across the Hargans, you want to try and use a level 3 fire, get rid of them quickly. Yeah, you also want to make sure Cloud's got his magic ups ×2 and Mithril Saber, so he does more magic damage. Yeah, just go through the sewers once you get there. Like I say, just have fire on Cloud, and you may want fire elemental on Barry and Tifa as well, so they can do a bit of damage to themselves. Yeah, just lob fire on everyone. When you come across the Hargans, try and use fire level 3, and then later on when you're chasing the absolute shoats, they can be quite hard to kill, so them as well you may want to use fire level 3, get rid of them quickly, and then eventually once you're caught up with them and killed them all, the last place where you kill the actual absolute shoat, there's 2 shards, 2 Mako shards you can farm, and this is where we farm them guys. So farm them from here just so you've got MP if you need it for the boss fight, and then push on. There'll be a bench, there's a few benches here that you can rest at, and then eventually you'll get to the boss fight guys. This is my hardest boss so far actually, believe it or not. So Cloud weapons, hard edge, chain bangle and the fury ring, and Barrett's got the EKG cannon, force bracelet and the enchanted ring, and Tifa has the Mithril Course geometric bracelet and the healing carcanet. These are very important items by the way. So materia wise, Cloud, fire materia, elemental, fire linked to elemental. He's got refocus, he's got both magic ups, he's got a Behemoth, summoning materia, excuse me there guys. First strike, steadfast block and 2 HP ups. Barrett's got fire linked to elemental like Cloud, he's got magnify linked to barrier, he's got binding, first strike, 2 MP ups, 1 HP up, steadfast block and Leviathan, Chocobo. Tifa, Fat Chocobo, 2 HP ups, steadfast block, auto cure and prayer materia. These are all very important. You'll find out why in the fight. Make sure they're all maxed out. So hard edge, this is my weapon upgrade tree which I like to show. So hard edge, the main core, everything except for buff duration. Subcore 1, attack damage and punisher damage. Subcore 2, everything except for stagger siphon. Subcore 3, everything except for limit break damage. Subcore 4, everything except for critical hit and that last connected materia slot. And Barrett, on the main core we've got everything except for the critical hit rate. Subcore 1, only the new materia slot. Subcore 2, everything except for critical hit, and Subcore 3, everything except for critical hit rate and that last connected materia slot. Yeah, I find that you don't need every manuscript in the game. All you really need is all the attack nodes and that. Anyway, Tifa, main core, everything. Subcore 1, only attack spells, MP cost reduction, 20%. Subcore 2, everything. And Subcore 3, everything except for reprieve and the new materia slot. Right guys, that's the build. Let's get on to the fight. So Abzu with the shoats, his little minions on chapter 14. Yes, this is my hardest boss fight so far. This is the only one I've had to use healing for because I've optimized the rest. But the rest when they're optimized, I've not had to heal. But this one, I can't optimize it any better. So first of all, we switch to Barrett and quickly use barrier, magnify on everyone. First of all, I sort of used Barrett to get a lock on to the main part of the boss. Just lock onto his main body, not a tail or the horn. Get a lock on to the main body and then use barrier on everyone as Cloud. We don't need Bowie on everyone. You don't have to worry about Mana Wall because he don't really do magic attacks. When he does, they're not going to hit you. So it's only barrier. That's why we needed 50 MP up to this fight if you've been following my actual chapter 14 guide. So we cast on everybody, and then after that with Cloud, we need to watch the boss's attacks, because basically we're going to say it's Cloud in Punisher mode, and when the boss is coming up like this, every move the boss does, by the way, will have text above it to tell you what it is. But this specific one he's doing right now, there's no indication other than him lifting his body up like so, lifting his arms up, and normally he'll hit down on the ground with one hand. And all we do on this fight, I just keep counter stats in, using counter stance on the boss's attacks or Punisher and blocking. So just always be in Punisher mode, and if you haven't got ATB, you want to block, and if you have, use counter stance. That's all we're going to keep doing. Don't worry about little shows, do not worry about them, and do not use Barrett's or Tifa's ATB. Tifa's your healer on standby with prayer, and Barrett's on standby to cast barrier. So I just blocked that ground pound that he did with one-handed ground pound, and we're just waiting for his attacks now, and I'm either gonna block or use counter stance. Block or use counter stance. And bash or smash, he normally hits about 3 or 4 times, so you need to be ready. With bash or smash, you'll have to either block or use counter stance, but just be careful, try not to dodge from it if you're too close when he does it, because it'll catch you. And once you put his health down so low, yeah, I just keep smashing him in Punisher mode and using counter stance and blocking, and eventually it pushes his health down quite quick. And then once he jumps up there, then next phase 2, he'll sort of run around for a bit. I chase after him, go into Punisher mode and attack him, but just be ready, because he will do an attack, and if you're into a combo and you've not got A to B, you won't be able to block in time. So tailspin, just counter stance, that's just a one hit thing, he'll spin around, so you can use counter stance to block that. Ready? Remember, don't use Barrier or Tifa, and with Barrier, always cast Barrier when it's about to expire. And Tifa's your healer on standby. So we just got him counter stance, going to chase after him again, hit him a few more in Punisher mode. Ground pound, we're going to block that. So like I say, remember, you can see all his attacks coming, says text, except for when he lifts them both arms above, and he sort of he pivots sort of to the right slightly, or to the left, can't remember what direction it is, and then he hits you sort of with his fist in one hand. Just be ready for that. It's not telegraphed, but you can block if you're in Punisher mode, and you can counter it. And when he jumps up here, I always just hide underneath him and block in normal mode. Not in Punisher, just make sure you're in operator mode and block. That way you'll block all this sort of the poison. It's not poison, they're spitting some at you. It's not actually a poison attack. They're spitting at you, and I just always block in operator mode, waiting. And what I normally do at this point, I normally heal with Tifa if I need to, and cast barrier again. And eventually he'll jump down. The reason I was hiding under there is because otherwise he'll pounce on you. And pounce is good because if you dodge it, it makes him pressured, but it can be tricky to dodge if this is your first time. So I went for the safe route, just hide under there. And once he jumps down, get over to him, start attacking him again, and be ready for his attack. If it's something like charge, he's going to charge at you, so just be ready to counter stance that. Yeah, so charge, you normally race up slightly like this, and then he'll move his hands down, his head down, and get in a charger stance basically, and you counter stance it. Counter stance is great on this boss. You can, I don't know why you can counter stance most of his attacks, but it's great because I mean you can see it's doing like 3,500 damage each time. And remember, if you don't have enough A to B, just block in Punisher mode, but always attack in Punisher mode because it hurts the boss more and it recovers your A to B quicker as well. So here we go, I've got a few hits in here, slow motion. So counter stance, there we go, nice. As long as you've always got barrier active, you should be good, and Tifa's ready to heal if your health gets too low. But she's got auto cure, so if your health just suddenly gets really low, she will cure you automatically as long as she's got ATB. Now this is his last phase, and this is the trouble one. Now straight away, we use Barry and we cast Sleep on the boss. And I guess should have said, it's important, you want to make sure he's got A to B when the boss gets to about this amount of HP. The thing is, in this last phase, his minions go mad. They go mad on him. They go mad. Headbutting you, diving at you. And so what I do, I put the boss to sleep and just get rid of the little minions first. But be very careful you do not attack the boss. It's going to be very easy to hit him if you get too close. Especially if you're in Punisher mode, because just one button press on square, just like a 6-hit combo or something, so be very careful. And with these, in Punisher mode, each hit will stun them. If you hit them in normal operator mode, it won't. So always attack these in Punisher mode, guys, because it will stun them and it makes them easy to kill. But if you can't quite get to one in time, you see an attack coming, you can always use counter stance on these as well, or block. And if he gets up before you have time to kill them all, just lob sleep on him again. You can lob sleep 3 times, by the way, before he becomes immune to it. And each time you cast it, basically he'll become more and more resistant, and it'll have less of an effect. So the first time it lasts for about 50 seconds, and then I think it's about 30, and then third time it'll be about 15, and then it won't work at all. So you can cast it 3 times. You saw there he woke up pretty quick then. So you got 3 chances to do this, and about 1 minute 30, I guess, to kill everyone ish. So, well, all the shows anyway. So once they're all dead, make sure you get onto his body quickly. Remember, just kill him in Punisher mode and don't let him get too close to you, and keep casting barrier with Barry if you have to, and Tifa's your healer. And once you've got them, back onto the boss's main core and just keep attacking him in Punisher mode. It should be easy now. And once he does this attack, it always seems to be, always get behind him first. So it always seems to be the one behind him that comes down first, like this. And then next it'll be the one on the top right, as you can see. And they always come like a diagonal, they always cover like a diagonal area from where they come. So you always come behind him when he comes to Blackwater Deluge. Always come behind him first, after that first one, and then go in the sort of his front left, and then just attack him in Punisher mode, and just keep attacking him now, guys. Yeah, just keep going down on him. And yeah, he's done. Yeah, you eventually set him on fire just because you're just punishing him. Yeah, that's it. He's dead. You're dead, mate. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. I tried so many things on this, by the way, guys. I spent literally almost a full day, probably. Well, not all at once, but it's probably taken me 8 hours or so I spent on this boss. I tried everything. Used some fire, hitting certain horns. I even went back to chapter 10, didn't destroy any horn, and saw what happens for this boss when he's got 2 horns remaining. Nothing happens. It's exactly the same, almost. But that's basically it, guys. Depending on what horn you've got left, or if you've got 2, it may change a bit what water comes out first, so just bear that in mind. But that should work generally the same. So after that, guys, just head up the ladder and then just keep heading out, and you'll get asked, once you get to that wall, yeah, head to the objective marker. You'll be asked if you're ready to leave. Just say yes, we're not doing anything else here. There are some manuscripts you can get, but I'm not going to bother with them. There's just no need. We've got all the most important nodes. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching that part, and I'll catch you on chapter 14. We're almost there, guys. Almost there. Catch you next time.